Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm Anil.
Let us begin what we have in store for you for the CIA of the profession ethics class.
We have for you interviews on ethical behavior and conflicting situations.
So these interviews we've got are not of any two people. We have chosen them from two ends of the spectrum of the professional sector.
One of the things about them is that they are our family members. This has helped us make our interviews more insightful, making us connect with our moral values. Family is the environment one's moral values are built on, which in turns create the basis for our professional ethics.
Let us begin.
Hi, today we have in front of us, I'm privileged to have the honor of interviewing Mr. Radhakrishnan, who is a commercial manager at an independent water and power project. So, Mr. Radhakrishnan, thank you for joining me today. And I'd like to just ask you a few questions on the basis of ethics for our school project, for our college project. So,
sure, okay.
I'd like to start off with a question. What do you understand by the term ethics? And do you feel it's necessary in a form of work?
Let me answer the second part first. Yes, it is necessary. And it is not something that you can just introduce. That is something that you have to be there within you. What you can have is in an organization like ours is an ethics charter. Okay, so it defines what is expected from you, what is not expected from you. Now, on the first part of the question, what is meant by ethics? Ethics has two dimensions, I would say. One is professionally, what is ethics? All businesses are operated within the framework of certain law, certain regulations, as well as certain agreements. So you are consciously putting effort to remain compliant to all these laws, regulations, and agreements. That is the professional ethics in business for me. And generally, the ethics as a person is not to cause harm to others in very simple way, and not to perform anything with willfully to cause harm to others. On my personal front, I would say.
Thank you for that insight. Okay, so now we go on to the second question. What is a huge conflicting situation you have been involved in, and what choice did you opt for, like on the company basis?
Okay, on ethics, basically there is it should not be called a conflicting situation. The conflict comes from within you, that to remain ethics, sometimes it costs you, it costs loss to you. So that's a temporary conflict within that. For a small thing like that, if I don't say that I saved this much, if I say that I might lose this much, but the end result of it's that once it has happened and you have recovered from that, but that gives you a good relief. But on the other hand, if you have done it the other way, means the worst something that you have done can be put as an unethical practice or unethical conduct. Most probably that will haunt you for quite some time, or maybe permanently. So the conflicts that generally come in my professional life is related to this one. Sometimes the disclosure of events related to the business. Certain things, if I disclose, if I just keep it within me, that may make commercial gains, business gains in terms of in money terms. But then there are definitely there will be non-compliance. So we call it sometimes some information not giving or hiding, that will be termed in the in our agreements or the regulations as bad faith. So we are doing many things in good faith, and something that if you do in bad faith, mainly the kind of business what we are doing, where we have been we supply the energy and water to the government, and we get paid for our availability. So availability is not something that you can see on paper or something. It is a declaration that we make, and we make such declarations in good faith. If you do it in bad faith, sometimes you gain it, but that is not allowed by the ethics charter or the company policy.
Thank you so much.
Is that clear? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Have you ever felt that you have been unethical in your profession? What, if so, what kind of situations has led to it? Like any kind of situation?
Generally, there are no forces that is externally acting upon you to be ethical. None, your business or your senior management or the board will never ever ask you to be unethical in any of the deeds that you are doing. So I would say no. Never I had to be in that situation.
Thank you. Have you ever had a situation where your employee has been unethical? Like, and then have you had to deal with such kind of situations?
Yes, very very rarely, and it is sometimes this is unethical is would be just disclosing certain not disclosing certain things, certain facts, or sometimes there is an incident, whether it is a technical incident or a commercial incident or anything. You are first interviewing the people, though all related facts did not come out, but more detailed investigation reveals that certain things happened. Then you feel that oh, this person could have come forward and confessed it or told it upfront. Such situations sometimes comes. It is just coming out of sometimes at a lower level of your staff, sometimes some kind of fear that is preventing them from confessing something or openly disclosing something. You can say it is sometimes it is against the ethics. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. And moving on to the last question. Why do you think people do unethical things? Is it because their definition of ethics is different? Even in a professional field, people might be like doing, even although you don't understand, people under you don't, you have not come across such situations. Generally, why do you think people do unethical things?
I told you there are from two levels we can see it. At a management level, I'm generally speaking that why it's not an answer why I'm doing it, because I already told we are not doing it. At the management level or company level, sometimes in the corporate governance level, sometimes this happen just because sometimes some unethical practice would ensure revenue, ensure income to business, or in situations sometimes where the such revenues or business income is already in difficult situation, people could take this. It's possible that people try to take this track. This is something trying to influence someone by some means to get into a contract, to get into. I'm generally speaking, because in the industry it is generally there. Sometimes you pay commissions, and sometimes some rewards to someone who was instrumental in getting you a business award, business contract, or something. This is definitely, this is linked to people are tempting, or people are forced to think little unethical, just for survival, or just for getting better business income on the higher management level, I would say. At lower level, at the employee level, mostly this is linked to the fear of getting disciplined, fear of losing job. So sometimes people don't disclose the facts they know they are supposed to. These kind of things can happen. And some people then, sometimes this is some character issues also there among people. Some people find a kind of pleasure in hurting someone, or some people are just not sensible to others' feelings. There's also one reason. So I would take it into these 2-3 aspects. Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay. So thank you so much for giving me more insights based on this college level to understand something which is in a business level. So thank you so much for giving me more subjective knowledge on ethics also. Thank you so much for joining us. So.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone, and hello. This
Hello.
is part of our discussion on ethics, which we've studied in Father Joshi's class. And as part of my project, I'm talking to my mom, who will introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shaila, Shaila Justin, John Justin's mother. And I work as a nurse in Sheikh Khalifa Hospital, Abu Dhabi. I have been working for 25 years as a nurse.
Thank you. Okay, so let's right away begin to our conversation, or an interview, you could say, about ethics. So 25 years, it's a long time, and you might have come across a lot of situations. So let me start by asking, what do you understand by the term ethics or ethical values?
The term ethics or ethical values, you can say simply, it is the moral principles which we possess in our day-to-day life for the well-being of
Okay. So do you feel it is necessary in your former work?
As a nurse, as a nursing in the nursing profession, it is very much valued, and it is one of the quality which we required to deal with the human lives and service for the society.
So my next question is, what is a huge conflicted situation you have been involved with in your work? And what choice did you opt in that conflicting situation?
In my nursing profession, as an ICU nurse, I was working as an ICU nurse for the past 25 years. I have come across many situations. You can say last 1.5 years, I have been assigned to COVID ICU, and during this pandemic situation, that it is a very very hectic situation. People are overflowing. there is no bed in ICUs for the patients to be cared, and lots of people are affected by the situation. So we are also in the middle of the situations, which sometimes we can we tend to be avoiding, or we, because of the hectic situation, uh, patients many times patients are personally in one of the busy day, not only one, I have noticed a situation like my colleague, one of my colleague is not caring properly. No, the patients are not given medicine on time. Many times I have noticed this situation. So this is like I thought of talking to that person, and I called that person personally, and I asked also, is there anything which is bothering him, or any problem personal. So I talked to him personally, and regularly I followed with him, and he started to be more active and caring for the patients.
Okay, thank you. So the third question we I would like to move on to is: have you ever felt that you have been an unethical a person in your profession? What kind of situations led to you to it?
In my profession, even the situation comes for me to be, to be unethical. I never felt. I never give up my moral values for the sake of the profession, or for others. I will never give up my moral values, and we should not be unethical because we deal with the human lives.
Yeah. So yeah. So my next question is, you worked a long time, and you worked under different type of superiors or employers. So since this interview is a contrast between employer and employee, and how ethics differ from two other people, and how situations differ, I would like to ask you whether your employer, or in this sense your superior, has ever been unethical. Can you tell me a situation of such sort?
In my situation, in my profession, I can say during this COVID situation only, and I have been assigned to one of the patient. He was very old and had contracted COVID-19 on ventilator, and the medical science has given up. They said nothing more can be done, and there are. I have been given more other two ventilated patients also. It became very hectic for me. So when I asked for help, uh, because without help we cannot give proper care for this ventilator patients. So when I asked for help, my superior said, anyway, there is nothing to do for that patient. No need to care for the other one. But according to me and my moral values, each person is has value, and until the last and this also I managed properly, and I cared, and the I got I was also satisfied at the end of my duty.
Thank you.
Because I did not leave.
So I think we broke off for a second. So after your superiors denied, he just asked you not to care for him. What happened after that? What did you do?
I prioritize my things, and the things which we have to give attention immediately. We attended, and then
moved on to your other
with the
patient.
time management. And I got help from one of my other colleague also. So we both together managed.
So we can basically say that when your ethics is questioned, you get a strength from inside. You could call it God or
God's power. Yeah,
God's
we
power
get
or a internal strength which helps you defend that kind of thing. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
This is
Now,
because of prayer and strength from God.
so that is your meditation and prayer is your form of getting experience and reinforcing your ethical values.
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to the fifth question. Why do you think people do unethical things?
When people wants to get things done without any hard work, or without any form of like without get things fast, they do unethical things. They achieve more things without hard work.
Hard work
And
or being by being
yeah,
unethical, they can just simply get away
yeah,
with
they just leave. They
yeah,
just want to get the things done without any hard work.
without any effort, being like any passion or this thing putting into it. They just want to get things done.
Yes,
So that is why they do unethical things. Is your
that's why
opinion?
they do. And the meaning of unethical ethics also it is differ for them. So they don't care for other people, and they don't possess any values or beliefs. So they want
Unethical
to
thing.
get the things done unethically.
So we can say that when society is the one who puts pressure on people to do either an ethical thing or an unethical thing. So making
Not
the
only society, the person, the people, or the person, how they were brought up, and
brought up and
what
yeah,
are
the environment around them is a very
environment, the
contributing factor to this
values of
ethical value
life.
building. Yeah.
Yes, the
Okay.
values they don't understand, they don't care, they are not aware of, or they are just not being
Caring.
cared of other people, and they don't have any value for society or human lives.
Yeah. So we're coming to the second last question. So have you ever felt you as an employee had to give up on your morality a slight bit to get to get someone else to do the thing, do something, get things done as you know, yeah.
In my I will never give up my morality to get the things done. So that is my ethical values, and my uh, moral values are my personality, my my with the striving force which continue for me to work as a nurse. So I
Thank
will
you.
never give up my morality. That means I should leave my nursing profession.
Okay. So we can conclude by saying uh, that you are have been a very ethical person. So I'm just gonna ask you for the question sake. Do you consider yourself an ethical person always? If no, can you tell me the reason?
I'm an ethical person always, and if I am not being ethical, means I cannot continue this
Continue.
profession.
Okay.
as a nurse?
So I can infer that the environment which you have been brought up in, and the education you've got about nursing, and the moral values they have put into your minds and heart, has lived with you, has grown with you as you progressed in your journey as a nurse. And I wish and I'm happy that you have been able to grow up in such an environment and thrive in the environment. Thank you for talking to me about your experience and sharing it with others as well. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And it was a nice interview. And best wishes for your future.
Thank you. So, Emil, from the interviews you've done, what are the insights you got from the interview?
Okay, so I interviewed somebody who's an employer, and according to him, like especially one thing is ethics is subjective from person to person. It's these moral values which they inculcate in themselves. So from the professional basis, he was like, people with doing their own business, they actually tend towards having more ethics because they have to be role models towards their employees. So we can navigate towards our own ways, and we can there's nobody's looking after us and things like that. So, and then people do, there are unethical things that happen, but then these unethical things, the situations occur when these companies want like special perks or special benefits or some kinds of rewards. That's the main reason these company employers make certain kinds of unethical measures. Okay, that was from that was the insights which I gained.
That was interesting.
Okay, so John, from your interview, what kind of insights have you gained?
So I talked to my mom about this, and from the interview. So what I've understood is, as an employee and as an employee of the medical field, it is very close to your heart if you don't if you don't be ethical, because you're playing with someone's life, and you have to be ethical or else you would regret that decision for the rest of your life. And she gave me the idea that people make conflicting choices or unethical choices because of something they want to do for quick relief. So maybe it's like maybe making a quick buck, or maybe maybe they're getting something, maybe a leave or a
Maybe a
holiday,
perk or something like
a
that.
perk like that. Yeah. So it's small things, but that might even have a disastrous ending if you don't become ethical enough. And as we all know, ethics differ from moral values differ from people to people, because the environment they've been brought up in. So but in the core of everything, if you don't think that what you're doing is right, it is unethical. So people usually end up making the right decisions. And and I have understood that in the workplace, if in the in the workforce sector, mostly everyone tends to be ethical, because or else we would have a very conflicting we wouldn't have such a good worker environment around us. Thank you.
Especially employees, maybe like they might get caught, like if they are, even if they are caught with their
There
unethical.
all the jobs are very like you can easily get fired. So being an unethical person as an employee is also very difficult, because your job is also at stake.
So thank you so much.
Thank you guys, thank you so much, thank you for listening to us.